Hey YouTubers, welcome back to another episode of Camouflage of the World. I'm Mike B. Today we're going to be looking at a really cool pattern that most of you are probably really familiar with. It's the British Disruptive Pattern Material, or DPM. This is the Model 95 variant. So in the early 1960s, the British kind of took their Denison smock from World War II and kind of adopted that to a universal pattern. They came out with a weird looking pattern in 1960, and then in 1968 it was kind of updated. It still didn't look exactly like this, but it was getting closer. And by the mid-1980s, specifically like 1985, you've got something that looks more like this. The 85 version isn't enough. Well, hopefully I'll get one and make another video on it. It's a little bit different, but this is the one that they used up until just about 2010, 2011. And then it was phased out and replaced with the multi-terrain pattern, which I also have a video on. You can check that out. And yeah, so this faithfully served the British. This pattern was also adopted by countless other militaries, including Canada, New Zealand, not Australia, New Zealand, which I think still uses that. I know Romania wears these, Indonesia, a bunch of like former colonies wear this stuff. It actually is pretty cool. If you'll notice up close, disruptive pattern material. So it looks like it's, you know, kind of not exactly sharp lines and stuff. And that's pretty cool. I mean, when you're looking at the woods, and you're looking at a woodland environment like this, you look out, you don't see big splotches of color, you see little specks like that. So that's really interesting how they chose to break up the outline with things like that. So we'll just kind of go over the design of the uniform. It's got two slanted pockets that are actually pretty big, so you can hold a lot of stuff. This is the undershirt that like goes over the t-shirt or whatever. So this is the thin one, nice and thin, and it's God, let me see what the tag says. What exactly it's made out of. Here's the, I'm sorry, trying to one-hand this. Oh, for God's sake, come on. Alright, so it's a 190-104, which is like a large long, and yeah, it's not really saying what it is, so I assume it's some sort of cotton poly twill, but again, it's really lightweight and everything. We got a button closure over a zipper. Get your rank epaulet right there. This one's just a corporal. And then on some of these, you can still find them. Like there's the Royal Artillery flash on the right shoulder, and then the brigade, the 1st Armored Infantry Brigade patch is, God, I'm just having some problems today, is right here, along with the Union Jack, the flag, is going to be on the left shoulder, and pretty sure this is still being used by a bunch of militaries worldwide. Some people came out with their own variations, and yeah, I think it's one of the longest serving camouflage patterns. Like, I know the 95 was phased out, but just the idea of it and the principle of it coming from the broad strokes of like the Denison smocks in World War II that were hand painted, and you know, it doesn't look like the U.S. Woodland M83 stuff because it doesn't have just big splotches like most other Woodland variants ended up going with. This has got the brush strokes and kind of the weird looking pattern, although the colors are pretty similar to the Woodland M83. You've got your brown, black, light green, or not light green, green, and then kind of a light green or khaki. I think some of the older ones are more yellowish, but yeah, so it's a four-colored one. There was a desert version of this too, and hopefully by the time you're watching this, I have another video of that up, if I can find my desert camo shirt. So there was a desert variant of this too, and yeah. So that's pretty much all I've got. It's pretty self-explanatory. It's a great pattern. If you don't have some, try to pick it up. It's actually getting harder to find now that it's been surplused out and everybody's buying it because it's really good for hunting and paintball and whatever. It's becoming increasingly harder to find. And someday, believe it or not, folks, this will be a collector's item. I know, right? So anyways, here's the British M95 DPM camouflage. And yeah, if you are new to the channel, or even if you're not, give this video a thumbs up. And if you're new to the channel, subscribe. There's plenty more videos like this, and you can watch the rest of the series, Camouflage of the World, and I also got Helmets of the World if you want to go that route. But yeah, so if you haven't subscribed, go for it, and if you got any questions, I'll try to answer them, even though I should have been able to answer most of them in this. It's a pretty common pattern, pretty self-explanatory, but hope you learned something. Thanks, guys. We'll see you next time.